You believe you've seen it all, but believe me, you haven't. Chrissy Lampkin, the person we all assumed we knew from television, passed away in court today. But nobody anticipated it. It wasn't just an emotional breakdown. It was her world, collapsing in real time. Yes, you heard correctly. Even the most outrageous part is found in Cameron, the last person anyone believed would hold the secret to her demise. What he did was release classified information that will soon disprove what we believe to be true regarding Chrissy's stunning hidden recordings, soon to be made public. You think this is just another courtroom drama? Think again. What Cameron is holding could ruin Chrissy's career, and nobody is prepared for what's going to happen next. Scandal. This is the controversy that will make you wonder about everything. Pay attention, because an epic bombshell is about to be revealed. Like any other court day, it began with supporters lining the streets and paparazzi flashing their cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of Chrissy Lampkin as she strode into the, courtroom, as if she still controlled the story, complete with huge shades, high-end shoes, and hair laid to the gods. However, beneath that glamorous exterior was a woman only seconds away from a complete public breakdown, and no one was even paying attention. A man she hadn't spoken to in years, Cameron, was sitting in the courtroom that day, calm but lethal, and Chrissy herself was unprepared for the chaos that was about to break out, because this wasn't a, no, I'm here to support my friend sort of vibe. Rather, Cam was there with a purpose, the kind that quiets a courtroom like the calm before a full-fledged reality TV storm. The judge came in, the lawyers nodded, and then, all of a sudden, a mysterious silver bag with the caption, Chrissy Files, was slid across the prosecution's desk. You could feel that something significant was about to happen. This wasn't just a civil argument. The energy shifted when they plugged in that flash drive. First, there were screenshots, hundreds, even thousands, of group conversations with encrypted messages removed from WhatsApp. The only sound in the courtroom was Chrissy's nervous tapping of her acrylics against the desk. But then, the bombshell voice note began, causing everyone in the room to freeze, barely breathing for 10 whole seconds. Her voice was angry, caustic. They're insane if they believe I'm letting Jim die alone. That recording alone was enough to spark a media frenzy. But then came the leaked security camera footage of Chrissy pacing in heels and shouting on the floor of a luxurious Miami hotel suite. I made this. I own this. Boom. The entire courtroom gasped as the judge essentially told everyone to calm down. Chrissy was shouting about account manipulation and how Cam had flipped. She then added, I'll burn the entire Dipset empire to the ground if he talks. Despite her best efforts to appear composed, her cheeks turned pale, and her jaw tensed as if she were suppressing a scream. Who was G, and how did Cam obtain this footage? Most people are unaware that Cam and Chrissy have a history that predates both Love and Hip Hop and VH1. They were nearly family before the matching Gucci on red carpets. But rumors have it that relations soured in 2018 following a huge rupture over a backdoor real estate transaction involving money that mysteriously disappeared. According to unnamed insiders close to the courtroom, Cameron never received his cut and remained silent for years, until finally admitting this was a personal matter, not a play for influence. Another source claimed Chrissy transferred almost $150,000 from a purported women's empowerment foundation to fund her sudden image glow-up. Stylists and beauty teams staged paparazzi moments with charity funds meant to go to single mothers. The foundation never even launched. Instead, it turned into a private luxury brand venture. Now, it's said the IRS is monitoring every transaction, not to mention the NDA, a confidential agreement between Chrissy, Jim, and Cam regarding a private altercation involving physical violence, detailed in a hefty contract dated 2018. Threats, recording devices, and purported payments to conceal everything. And guess what? Cam's team had it all, leaked, page by page, line by line, and handed it to the judge like a restaurant menu. Chrissy's lawyer attempted to protest, dismissing it as unimportant history, but the judge didn't buy it. He rejected the motion. And that's when it happened. Chrissy broke down, leaned forward, and whispered something to her lawyer before crying uncontrollably, smearing her mascara. Not the kind of tears you see on TV. These were the, I'm losing everything. She covered her face as the camera zoomed in, and you could hear her mutter, He shouldn't have done this. But Cam remained stoic, not blinking or flinching, as if witnessing justice finally being served. Icy. And while everyone was focused on Chrissy, they failed to notice that Cam's legal team had other accusations, financial records, and an unnamed source ready to testify that Chrissy had manipulated finances for several seasons of production. Chrissy was allegedly using show money to finance opulent vacations under the guise of business retreats. To make matters worse, she reportedly persuaded a young woman to divert money from Love and Hip Hop to her private brand agreements, the same public relations assistant who signed a fictitious invoice claiming $22,000 in media placement fees, which were actually used for her birthday yacht party in Turks and Caicos. That assistant now works for a rival network, and guess what? Is allegedly prepared to speak on camera. Twitter and Instagram blogs were aflame, going crazy every 5 minutes. Conspiracy videos appeared on TikTok. Some claimed Cam had planned it all along. Others believed Chrissy had pushed him too far behind the scenes. Regardless, it's evident that public opinion had flipped. "I always thought she was sketchy," someone commented. "About time someone pulled her card," wrote another. Even celebrities were chiming in. A verified producer tweeted, "This is why you don't work with reality stars who pretend to be CEOs." Chrissy's freedom was at stake, not just her reputation. This wasn't just a messy love triangle scandal. We're talking RICO energy, racketeering, financial fraud, interference, possibly even obstruction. The judge called for a recess. But instead of getting up, Chrissy just sat there, while everyone in the courtroom whispered about the feds being in the hallway and how her lawyer appeared to have aged 5 years in only 5 minutes. Cam wasn't the only one with receipts, though, as the courtroom emptied and they sat there with their shoulders shaking and a tissue in one hand. Rumor has it that Jim Jones wasn't even there, and you can't really blame him for avoiding the whole thing. Chrissy was escorted out, scarcely able to contain herself, when someone else entered through the back door. Mama Jones, the always talkative woman, was seen entering with what appeared to be a manila folder and a Bluetooth in her ear. If you know Mama Jones, you already know that she only appears when things are going to become ugly. What's in that folder? What part does she play in all of this? And why did Cameron smirk when she entered the courtroom? Reporters and bloggers were still outside, going live or already hurling Chrissy canceled into their headlines. But Mama Jones had just entered the quiet hallway, and the entire atmosphere changed. She didn't say anything, but her eyes were full of drama, and her stride was full of fire. She came to console Chrissy, and with that manila folder in her hand, it was no accident that she walked past security like she owned the building and went directly to the private witness room. When the door closed behind her, the only thing everyone could hear was her voice resonating through the vents. "Tell them what you did, Chrissy, or I'll listen immediately. This place has a dark, twisted past that has never been resolved." From the beginning of Love and Hip Hop, Chrissy and Mama Jones never had a quiet moment. They disagreed on all matters of money and power. Jim, however, was unaware of the extent to which Chrissy allegedly went behind the scenes to hush Mama, as revealed by a leaked email that inexplicably surfaced on a gossip blog shortly after Mama's arrival. At one point, Chrissy promised a reality program because Mama had threatened to reveal a transaction Chrissy had made behind Jim's back, selling the rights to one of his unpublished music catalogs to a private investor in Atlanta. The producer paid $50,000 to delete all Mama Jones's sequences from season 4. The catalog supposedly wasn't even Chrissy's to touch, but now that everything is falling apart, years later, Mama Jones is no longer silent. And according to insiders, she kept receipts. In court, things quickly got out of hand. Chrissy hadn't returned yet. She was still locked in the witness room with Mama, but Cameron had returned. The prosecution then revealed the second bombshell: a recently discovered voicemail from Chrissy to an unidentified lady, dated March 2020. He appeared far too composed in his seat, as if he knew the tempest was almost over. Chrissy yells, "I told you to use the ghost account, not the F connection." "No, they're tracing it." She panicked over a missing wire transfer. "You read correctly that there is currently no direct relationship between Lil Durk and the crew." However, prosecutors promptly requested the court for time to subpoena banking data from 2 Atlanta-based shell firms allegedly connected to Chrissy's business team, since the mention of F in any financial conversation under investigation triggers every red flag possible. When we thought this couldn't get any worse, the FBI unexpectedly entered the corridor with their full presence, suits and badges. They weren't just there for show. They had names, and they demanded to talk with Chrissy's legal team in Chimele, private. The situation in court was stopped, and the tension in the air was high once more, enough to choke on. One insider from the courtroom, posing as a law intern, sent a text message that read, "They found the offshore accounts. Boom. Game over." People had been whispering for years. Authorities allegedly suspect Chrissy was channeling show money, charity donations, and brand partnerships into offshore accounts under 3 identities. This is in reference to her abrupt wealth increases, which included new automobiles, luxurious holidays, and million-dollar investments, all without any active income streams. Monroe Vera Santiago, Christina Jones, and 3 more names with the same birthday are all registered in Panama. When it was shown, Cameron didn't even bat an eye. Instead, he reclined back with his arms folded and grinned, as if he had been anticipating this moment since 2019. Chrissy had yet to appear in the courtroom, and rumors circulated that she was having a full-blown breakdown in the back. However, Jim Jones, the last person anybody had anticipated, arrived looking exhausted, wearing only a hoodie, sunglasses, and no chains or gaudy drips, with a face as if he hadn't slept for days. He ignored the cameras, didn't say hello to anyone, and went right to Mama Jones. He murmured something in her ear and gave her and Chrissy a hug. She emerged a few seconds later, her lips trembling and mascara flowing. She sought Jim's hand in an attempt to keep herself together, but he withdrew it loudly enough for everyone in the front seats to hear him mumble, "You lied to me for years, and now the feds know everything." Chrissy stopped. The action broke. Her shoulders slumped and her whole face fell apart. Mama Jones turned away. Jim left, and the public devoured it like wildfire. In a matter of minutes, videos of Jim turning Chrissy down in court began to appear on the internet. "Mama up," Chrissy exposed. Jones' warning came true. The actual reason he snapped? Instagram blogs went crazy because of Cameron against Chrissy. A user wrote, "I've known Chrissy was shady. She played everyone, but not Cam." Another person stated, "This is greater than reality television. This is the level of a federal indictment." And they were correct, because the court began with one last exhibit, an anonymous statement that a former executive producer at VH1 had submitted just hours earlier. According to the document, Chrissy eliminated verbal exchanges, threats, and even reported physical altercations. In exchange, she had access to high-profile influencers and brand connections. One terrifying sentence: Chrissy weaponized reality, television, and every man around her to build an empire of lies. After a lengthy delay, the judge scheduled a formal investigation hearing for next Friday. In the interim, Miss Lampkin-Mussey broke down once more when she was told to turn in her passport and stop speaking in the media about this issue. She turned to face her lawyer and then Mama Jones, who refused to even look at her. She tried to grab for Jim, but he had already left, ending the romance between that power couple. Bran broke that image of royalty on reality TV. As she was ready to leave quietly, a voice called out to her from the hallway, "Yandy Smith, you're quiet now, but while I was on the chopping block, you were really talkative." Come another turn of events, another adversary, another chapter is about to open because it appears that Yandy has receipts. Rumor has it that she has been waiting for years to expose Chrissy, and now that the truth is coming to light, she is prepared to do so. If this shocked you as much as it shook us, don't even consider scrolling. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, because believe me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Since this story isn't over, and more, revelations are leaking, what do you think of the comments? Is Chrissy to blame, or is she guilty in a more significant game? Let's discuss, because this drama is far from completed.